And how was the production and everything? Was it smooth?
A couple of bumps.
Yeah, but the bumps were probably my favorite parts.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
There was one part like Neil Patrick Harris came out and did the
Fueled by Dew.
the best indie game Fueled by Dew.
Woo!
And which was great because he was basically like openly mocking it at one point. He's like, I love independent stuff. So here's this award, Fueled by Dew.
See. The nominees for Best Independent Game Fueled by Dew are...
Yeah, he said Fueled by Dew in exactly the right way.
The right kind of rasp. Yeah, bro. Yeah. See, NPH is down like that.
But so they, cut away to the here's the nominees little video package that they had prepared, and they come back and
He says, and the winner is...
He does like this mock opening of a envelope and everything, and the winner is... I don't know. I don't have an envelope.
I don't have a thing. Am I supposed to have a thing? Should I just say one of them?
And at first I thought like, oh, this is just like part of the bit, but no, he did not like know what he was supposed to say next.
Like eventually, like a woman came up over the loudspeaker and shouted a name of the world of goo guy. Like, Ron Hamill!
Ron Carmel.
What?
What? And then that didn't help. So
Because they didn't say like the name of the game or anything, and so finally, when Guy came up, and then Neil Patrick Harris repeated World of Goo a couple of times,
World of Goo,
to make sure that people knew that the game in fact was World of Goo.
Yeah.
World of Goo!
So that was great, just watching that break down a little bit, because also it was
and
live.
being on the other side of it.
It was live, and they couldn't edit around it.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is live, folks.
It was a live show this year. Yeah. I think they pretty much went live to tape last year in Vegas.
4
like
songs,
a very
just
heavily
loop.
branded show. Like every single thing, it was just like stride this, and all the music's provided by Interscope. The end of the trailers had like pre-order today at GameStop on them. Like it got really out of hand.
Seems expensive.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There's a lot of. As we discuss the show, there's going to be a lot of like really easy ways to poke holes in it and kind of laugh at it, and there's a lot of people doing that online right now. But when you consider the task of putting a live 2-hour awards show on the air, and also trying to make a compelling television show, and not just like some like very dry like video game awards show, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's real hard.
Like it's like we were sitting there and just realizing that this was a huge, extremely complicated machine.
Yeah,
like just the event that they had put together, and you can see that it was chaotic at points. Our whole trying to get into the theater, I think, is a great example of that chaos. But I thought the show itself went well.
Yeah, for sure. Like it was entertaining. Like I don't feel it was embarrassing. I think like the first couple of Spike TV Awards shows were like just basically just making fun of people that play games, just with the whole like mom's basement mentality, and you guys are high all the time, blah blah blah.
Well, the key is like acknowledging that stuff, but owning it. The problem is that they were doing it from like an outsider perspective. So when Jack Black came out in his underwear this time, it seemed more like he was in on the joke. It wasn't like they were pointing and laughing.
Yeah, like he's just a much better choice for host. Whereas like last year, Samuel L. Jackson he was like, Afro Samurai, it's a game that I'm in. I don't know. I'm badass, guys. Like, it's just, whatever.
The opening bit for the show was really good. It had Jack
big
Black.
staged musical number. Kyle Gass came out at one point.
Yeah.
So
I hear he was singing on an Xbox headset, is that correct? Or at least appeared to be?
Jack Black was, for some reason, wearing an Xbox 360 headset for the entire show.
The whole show?
The whole show.
Oh, wow.
But that couldn't have been his microphone.
No, definitely not.
Wireless or the wire?
No, like the full
wire. Yeah, I saw a shot of him
headset
in like cabaret attire with one of those on.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, there was a little vaudeville number with him and Jerry Stiller for some reason, which worked pretty well.
Yeah, that worked all right.
I thought that was all right. The big thing that you will not see on the telecast of the award show, though, is Jack Black and some security dude having to help Jerry Stiller down the stairs afterwards. And it was like, seeing that, I was like, oh no, Jerry Stiller's really old, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. It's one of those things that they don't show you. You don't get to know that part.
Television magic. But the other thing is, like they definitely are bending it to putting on an entertaining show as opposed to putting on like an award show,
a reverent thing.
Right. You know, the two kind of reverent moments were Will Wright winning the Gamer God Award, which basically was just like a lifetime achievement kind of thing,
Which was cool because they gave him the time to like have his long moment.
He's bringing presentation.
It seemed like he was gonna.
Yeah, like that was the thing. I kept waiting for like the PowerPoint to turn on and like pictures of Gilligan's Island and UFOs and stuff.
Now the Russian space program.
Yeah, should all donate money.
No, because that guy has a very circuitous kind of thought process, and they let that play out. Like I was very worried at some point they were going to start like putting the music was going to start coming up and they were going to play him off. I was like, oh god, I hope that doesn't happen. That would be the worst thing ever. Yeah. But no, they gave him the time for that, and then later on they had a lengthy kind of brutal legend bit with Tim Schafer and Rob Halford coming out.
Yeah.
That went on for a while, but was good.
Like they rolled Tim Schafer out like on a chariot, basically.
Like hot girls carrying this chariot along.
And like treated him with the appropriate level of reverence, I think.
And Jack Black was standing at the front. Like they had this big long catwalk that was also had a moving sidewalk on it.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, Jack Black was standing there with a giant flamethrower.
Shouting like trying to get the crowd to chant Tim freaking Schafer over and over again.
Yeah! Tim freaking Schafer! Get out of your seats, you unworthy peons! Tim freaking Schafer! Tim freaking Schafer!
Jack! Stop. What's going on?
Didn't work so well, the chanting part, but
I didn't really get the cue that I was supposed to be chanting until it was too late.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was like, well, what? Are we? Oh, no, that's cool.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah. And that was super weird, like, because, I mean, they pushed Brutal Legend pretty hard throughout the show because since Jack Black is in it, it was like they'd bump out to commercial and he would say, "And my awesome game, Brutal Legend!"
Yeah.
You know, so there was just like a lot of that. But I don't know. It didn't seem like too over the top, like ridiculous with that stuff. It seemed like the right level of pimping it out since he's the host and all that stuff ties in.
But that was kind of like the real point of the VGAs this year was all of these like big reveals, all of these world exclusive trailers.
Yeah, it's way more about that than an awards show, and I think that
seems kind of good for them to.
It's more entertaining.
It's a more entertaining show than people giving like the same basic award acceptance speech.
Really want to thank all the people out there that played the game.
But it doesn't really serve video games very well as a whole. It just becomes like this big preview extravaganza with all this branding all over it, and it's just kind of weird. Like I think that's a cool show, but maybe they don't need the awards as a hook. Like maybe they just like one night a year, it's the big, huge extravaganza revealing stuff.
But you need some way to like trick all of these industry people to come out to this thing.
I guess so. But why though? Because they don't show most of them. Like Ed Boon and a bunch of Midway guys were there, and they didn't win their category. But even if they did, that category was rattled off in like a 30-second block where they just revealed everything.
Yeah, that was the big problem.
45 minutes into this 2-hour broadcast, they had given away like 4 awards or something, and then it was like, wait a minute, I remember voting on a lot of stuff. Like, how are they going to... And then just at one point, it's just like they have a package that they threw to. There's like, and the winners are... And it was just like, award. You know, it was basically the awards that were not presented on the telecast.
And a lot of the awards that they did present on the telecast, they like lumped other ones in. So like Gears of War 2 was up for Best Shooter.
Yeah,
and then
Best Shooter.
They said also winning for Best Xbox 360 game.
Gears of War 2 also winning Best Xbox 360 game.
Which is weird because then that lets you know that they didn't win anything else.
Yeah.
So like Harmonix got up for Rock Band 2. They won
Best
Music Game and something else.
Multiplayer?
No, Left 4 Dead 1 multiplayer.
Best Soundtrack.
There you go.
And then they were nominated for Studio of the Year. Gotcha. So when that rolled around, it's like, well, obviously it's not Harmonix because they would have just lumped that in too. So like stuff like that's just it's like a little clunky, just like as an award show. I think what they need to do is actually stretch that thing out into a 4-hour show and only show the first 2 hours on the internet, and have that be awards, and actually like have that be for here's for the people that actually like really like games already.
So you're suggesting we kind of have our technical VGAs
right
beforehand?
Totally, and you know, have that show be kind of entertaining, like throw some stuff in there or whatever to make it meaningful. But then save like the last 5 awards for the 2-hour live broadcast and do like your platforms and your best game of the year on television.
Yeah, it definitely needed to be rebalanced some. I feel like a lot of the awards got shorted, and I feel like some of the musical stuff didn't need to be there.
Yeah, so it was like, and like the musical stuff was there very much to like serve specific need. Well, at least half of it was anyway. Like LL Cool J came out and did 2 songs or 2 parts of songs, and one was like a new song off his new album. Then they introduced like the UFC 2009 Undisputed trailer, and then he came back out and performed "Mama Said Knock You Out" while UFC fighters like stood behind him, and like for the first couple seconds they were like kind of posing and like punch in the air and stuff, and then they're like, this is gonna go for a while, and then they just kind of stood there.
Which is too bad, because when it first started, it was awesome.
Yeah, when it first started, it was awesome. I was like, yes, this is the song that they should be doing.
They had like an octagon rise up from out of the back of the stage, and these guys came out of it, and he started doing "Mama Said Knock You Out," and they're like air sparring. And I'm like, this is awesome.
And there's some pyro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a spectacle. The whole thing,
total spectacle.
Like, painted girls on swings up in the air for the entire show. When Busta Rhymes came out to introduce the Uncharted 2 trailer, confetti started flying. Like they had huge.
Busta Rhymes came out.
Yeah, they had huge confetti blowers like on the sides of the soundstage.
They were just like blasting confetti on the stage for
no apparent reason.
So here's what I'm thinking. It's supposed to be snow, and in the Uncharted trailer, there's a little bit of snow. That's the only tie-in I can come up with. It made no sense at all.
But the awesome part about that is they had these girls that were all painted silver sitting on these swings, because it was like the whole theme of, I guess, the show was gamer heaven.
Yeah.
But while they're up there and then the confetti starts getting blown, it gets stuck all over their painted skin. So now they have this
painted skin.
Yeah, so now they are covered in these weird splotches of white confetti. So
which I don't know, maybe it played a little differently at home, but I've heard some people say that they didn't like that, you know, there was some objectification of women with the painted girls, because last year they actually had like the names of the winners painted on girls, which was hokey. This seemed like scaled back and fit in with the theme. I didn't really mind it.
Yeah.
But I did mind like idiot supermodels doing bad reads and horrible jokes. And I play games too. Look up my gamer tag. It's Pummel Puss. You can look it up for real. That's how much of a Gears fan I am. It's Pummel Puss. Like that. What does that have to do with what?
Prove to you how psyched I am about Gears. My Xbox Live handle is Pummel Puss. I'm dead serious. Look me up online if you want your ass chainsawed.
Because that's what you do in Gears too. What the? Yeah, like just crap like that made no sense. They had some girl backstage who, like, at one point, I think she was like the girl who hosts some like Verizon cell phone crap. And they're just like, here's the mobile games of the future, and they didn't actually. I don't know what they showed at home. They didn't show that to the people.
Yeah,
the
I actually
audience.
saw it, and it really was like that fast.
Oh, so it was just like 5 seconds. It's like, here's a bunch of crappy phone games
because
they
Verizon paid
for
his
it.
money. Yeah,
Yeah.
Cut to Tony Hawk.
I think the show's fine. Like Jack Black was really good. Some of the presenters were really good, but then, you know, then you get like some of the supermodels or like Kim Kardashian coming out and making like jokes.
I really liked Kim Kardashian. I thought that worked because it played off of her just vapidity so well.
I guess, but it's like at some point playing into that is bad too. Like at some point that's so obvious that it's like, yeah, okay, fine. Like I'm gonna make fun of myself because I'm a really crappy reality TV star, and it's all I have going for me. It's like it's just sad at some point.
It is sad, but enjoyably so.
All right,
I see what you're saying, but yeah, that wasn't terrible the way. Oh God, I can't remember who the other two were. They made a Terminator joke that did not play in the theater. I watched it on the telecast and it played a little bit better.
Oh yeah,
because you
like
could actually see what was
poured out
going
a
on.
bucket of liquid metal onto the stage or something.
Oh, wow.
And they're like,
sounds dangerous.
Yep, and I was actually so excited about this video game that I went out and bought myself a T1000, but it broke. And he never changed back. Right.
and just like the other girl's like, okay. Anyway, it's just like, what do you like? Don't like play to these girls' strengths. Don't try and get them to do comedy, especially anything timing based. I mean, I guess any award show is always clunky with that stuff. So
and then there was that Kevin James overlong. That
thing was huge.
That was huge and horrible. I guess Kevin James has some new movie coming out where he plays a mall cop, and he came out in this character on a Segway, and it was this lengthy thing between him and some skateboarder who was actually in the airport.
Oh yeah,
today he was at the Cinnabon behind us.
All right. Oh yeah.
Who's Kevin James?
King of Queens.
Oh, that guy.
He sucks.
Yeah, it was. Oh God, that went on for so long.
Yeah, but like generally speaking, like that show just it's getting better year after year, and it seems like it's more about games than it ever has been, while still trying to put together some kind of like acceptable television show that the conventional wisdom television people would sign off on.
Right. Like the Oscars, you get to see people who you see in the movies, right?
Right.
And like for video games, it's not like Nathaniel Drake is getting on stage.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
And instead, like, again, because they need to bring in celebrities to try and make it appeal to like as wide an audience as possible. Like they have categories that are structured for that. Like the big name in the game award, right. Kiefer Sutherland. So they have him come out and give this a speech. It was one of the longer acceptance speeches of the night, and they didn't actually name the other nominees. They just said, "Here you go, it's Kiefer Sutherland." Liza Dushku comes out and says, "Kiefer Sutherland is awesome."
And
Here he is.
I go, "You're right."
And he talked for a long time, did not at any point mention the name of the game he was in.
Oh, no kidding, really?
Yeah, he was just like, this game, we worked for like 6 months on it, 1,600 pages of dialogue. It was really crazy. It was just like amazing, super fulfilling. I want to thank everyone who worked on the game. Like no mention of the company. Like it was just really weird. Like it seemed really out of place that he was just like, that was just I did that a while ago. Like I don't remember. Whatever. Yeah, fine.
I was drinking.
Yeah.
Where he came to the
Where's the
show.
VIP bar? Let's do this.
He showed up.
And then like the big name of the game female was Jenny McCarthy. She was not there, so they just rolled that into
their big
package of awards. So Red Alert 3 run something. Now Jack Black is just this weird parody. I mean, there's a pretty good self-parody moment for Jack Black on the awards show.
That was pretty good. I didn't realize it wasn't him at first.
Yeah, like they have someone get up. It was like probably not actually his real stunt double, but could be like
his stand-in.
From where we were sitting, it could have been him, but except the voice was not right. But he got up and just started and jumping around like an asshole.
I'm Jack Black.
Oh, I'm Jack Black. Yes, I'm Jack Black. I love to party and rock and roll party style. Oh, look at that. Scat, scat,
and then they have Jack Black like walk up and go, okay, I'm done, you can go. And then he just gets there and then immediately starts doing the exact same thing.
Skit, scat, skitty, that, beat up, and boo. Yeah, I'm a papa. Boodly, that, and but I'm Jack Black. Yes, I'm a Jack Blacka. I love to party and rock and roll party style. And now to present another world premiere